Patrick Bet David on marriage and Mia Khalifa. We've got some things to say about this. Stay tuned. Here we go.
This is a clip from Mia Khalifa. And she said that if you marry the wrong person early, there should be no shame in getting divorced. If you're with the wrong person, get divorced. And this clip is going viral. And it's this, if you haven't seen it.
I have not seen it.
Married at 18, divorced at 21. Second marriage, married at 25, divorced at 28. Third engagement, engaged at 29, ended it at 30, but I kept the ring. I'm still keeping Tom Brady on his toes. We should not be afraid to leave these men. We are not stuck with these people. Marriage is not a sanctimonious thing. It is paperwork. It's something, it's a commitment you make to someone. But if you feel like...
Okay. Wrong. But we'll keep going.
You're not getting anything from that commitment and you're trying, you gotta go. You gotta go. You have to go. I know it's difficult to fill out paperwork and to make appointments and to do all of these things, but this is your life. Do you want to be stuck with someone? Period.
Is this girl
she's a porn star.
Okay, yeah. It depends on what she's saying here on a couple different things. One of the most important books I read on relationship was 101 Questions to Ask Before You Get.
I could not agree more. This is a great book. Everyone should read this book and go through these questions before you get married. I'm so looking forward to talking with PBD about marriage. That's going to be one of the best podcasts that we have. This guy, he's spot on with what he's doing.
I read this book, and the woman I thought I wanted to marry was like, no, that's not what you're looking for. You want this. Like, wow. Out of the 101 questions, like 54 of them were important to me. So then I was talking to 4 girls at that time. I gave them all the books. And I said, I need you to read this book, and let's have a meeting together to go through the answers. I knew 3 of them wasn't going to work out. My wife and I had a 6-hour meeting with that book. And then I'm like, okay, cool. Let's date for a year and a half, then I'm going to marry this girl. We date for a year and a half. We have a bunch of fights, and then eventually I'm like, nope, I'm going to marry this girl. But I knew after I read the book, this could be somebody I can invest my time into. But most people don't marry based on values and principles. Most people marry based on nice breasts.
Yep, and that's a problem. If you're not marrying on values and principles, you're going to get a divorce. 90% chance that you're going to get a divorce based on what I have seen. 50% of all marriages fail. And the vast majority of people pick on, oh, I'm attracted to them. I love them. I have this infatuation for them. That's the wrong thing to do. Marriage is about screening out everyone who is bad for you and then choosing your favorite from who is left over. Because by definition, if you've screened out everyone who is bad for you, then the people that are left over would be good matches for you. Now pick your favorite. Most people, they do the internet effect, where they use Match.com or the swipe left, swipe right, or Bumble, or any of these crazy, website things, and all that they're doing is looking at pictures. And they're choosing on the worst factor that you possibly can pick on, because you might have such a strong physical attraction to that person that you're going to overlook the fact that your marriage is definitely doomed based on your personality preferences and based on your value preferences. Values are what marriages are built on, not attraction, not even things in common. Common values, whether you like the same movies or the same entertainment or the same sports or the same activities or the same anything, the same topics of employment, you're at the same profession. None of that is important. It's about values, and physicality cannot be the first thing. Otherwise, if you happen to get a good match values-wise, it's just pure luck. And that's a terrible way to pick. It doesn't lead to a long-term relationship. It doesn't lead to both of you helping each other get to heaven. It doesn't lead to the strengthening and growth of both of you. As a matter of fact, it hinders all of that. And it's terrible. And you wind up living a miserable life. But if you have the same values and you're aligned and you have the same goals and you have the same reasons for why you do things, then that's going to lead to the greatest blessing that you can have in life, which is a good, strong, and healthy marriage.
Based on a beautiful butt, based on a beautiful face, based on an incredible chemistry in the bedroom. Sex was great. You went to a nightclub, you danced good together, you have a blast together, you laugh together. All of that stuff aren't the reasons to marry, okay?
Right.
Those are great reasons to date. I dated 2 girls whom one of them, I knew from the beginning I was never going to marry this girl. And by the way, I love this girl. We had an incredible time together. But I knew we were never going to marry each other. Did we have fun? Unbelievable fun. Did we do crazy things together? Out of control. Was it a blast? Yes. Yes. Was I going to marry her? No. Was she going to marry me? No. Eventually we sat down and we said, look, this is not working out. And I want to get married. And I don't think we're going to be together. I said, I'm not going to date anybody until you date somebody first because I want to be respectful to you. Boom. She goes date somebody first. I said, now you're dating. Boom. Now I got noom, and I started dating. Another girl I was dating, eventually, one day, after being together for 2.5 years, we had the awkward moment. Sex is amazing. We're having a lot of fun. We're like two kids. You would see us, you'd see us at Venice Beach. She's on top of me. We're just wrestling. We're having a blast. We're laughing. Of course, we're having a fight, and some couple unfortunate events happened that, took away life out of the relationship, and we lost a lot of momentum. But it got to a point one day, by the way, I'm an atheist at the time when I'm dating this girl. One day I'm like, I want to know if we're together because we actually have substance and things to talk about, or if it's sexual and fun. I said, look, I want us to go a month without sex. And she says, what? See, I want us to go a month without sex. Are you joking? Nah.
So I want to talk about that. If you've already initiated a sexual relationship with someone and then you stop it and go a month without sex, that creates problems. And I bet he's about to describe problems like that. This is a reason why, and I know this is difficult, that you shouldn't start having a sexual relationship until you've done these other things first. One of the reasons why I'm a big fan of things like eHarmony is because eHarmony doesn't introduce you to people that you're not matched with. And the first thing is values. They give you an in-depth personality test. That's exactly what you should be doing. That book, 101 Questions to Ask Before You Get Married, that personality and values assessment screening that you're going through, you're trying to screen out the people who are wrong for you and then choose your favorite from who's left over. But in having a sexual relationships build on momentum. This is why you shouldn't start one with someone until after you're married to them, because then you can build on that and keep on that and keep that going. Because when you have that, and that is a good foundational strength of your relationship, then the momentum for that is excellent. And what happened was, and what happens a lot of times, is you get into this sexual relationship first, and then you have to do all this other screening stuff. Well, then you do the screening stuff and realize, oh no, now you have to break up. That's difficult. So you don't break up. You stick in the relationship too long. And while you're in this wrong relationship, the place that God has for your real blessing is taken up by the wrong thing. And so if you put things in the right order, you're going to get a lot better results out of life. I know it's really difficult to do because you see someone and you're like you want to be with them real bad. And so you go ahead and do it. Maybe start these great sexual relationships like Patrick was saying he had. And it makes it very difficult. And you're also going to find yourself going years and then years and then years. It can take you a few years each time that you do this. And now you're years away from your actual good, healthy, great marriage. And marriage is worth it.
I'm serious with you. You're joking. There's no way you can do this. I don't know if I can do this. I'm saying let's try to see if we can do it. To see what we do late at night, great. First time we go out, hey, movie's done. At an expedition, you want to... Nah, I'm going to drop you off. Now, you got to realize my pants, they're about to blow up. I mean, I'm like ready to do something with her. I'm like, babe, we got to spend some time. I'm freaking on fire with testosterone. I'm a high testosterone type of guy. And I'm dropping her off and I'm just cursing myself out. What the hell is wrong with you? Man, you should have done this. Next night, same thing. Next night, same thing. 2-3 weeks later, we don't have anything to talk about. I'm like, great relationship. I don't know if we can be married. So then I say, let's go to church together. See if we can figure something out here.
Great screening mechanism. Go to church. You demonstrate yourself as a leader and a protector. The fact that you're not having sex with her straight from the beginning, she's going to want it, and you build that tension, that helps you be the leader that you need to be. It's great. It's worth it.
Are you being religious? No. I'm just trying to figure out if I want to get married. You want to get married to me? No? Yeah. I want to get married to you. I got a ring. But I don't know if we can make it work. I don't know what marriage is all about. We need something to have a basis. And we go to church one time, so uncomfortable for her. I'm like, I'm not going to make you do this. And then eventually we broke up. She's happily married. She's got beautiful kids. We're still in contact. I'm very happy for her. And the other one is also happily married, got kids, all that stuff. Why is this person getting all these eyeballs? A porn star is getting. Who cares?
She's saying some opinion that people want to hear, apparently, is that you can break a marriage.
So that's something people want to hear an opinion. Let me tell you what my life is about. My life is about not telling people what it is that they want to hear. My life is about telling people what it is that they need to hear. When I am with a client, they get 100% focused attention and my absolute best, whether it's easy or not to deal with. And there are people that have a hard time with that. And there are people that also are out of alignment. And if you want to make your life better and have your life aligned and have a healthy life going forward, then we're going to be able to help you a lot. If you want revenge, you can count the number of people who were more concerned about revenge and being right in their story than they were being happy or getting through the process in a healthy way, because those are the people leaving us 1-star reviews. Maybe up to 1% of all the clients that we ever have. It's less than 1 out of 100 that just can't let go. But 99 people for every one of those people are happy, healthy, satisfied, work through it, and their lives are much, much better. But she is. So she's a porn star, right? There's a lot of issues and problems with that. And, you know, if you're out there and you're taking life advice from a porn star or a former porn star, you better be really careful with that. Because maybe it's oh my goodness, I have learned because of my mistakes, and I really shouldn't have done that. But now to go out there and be encouraging divorce, I'm a divorce lawyer. I make money when people get divorced, and I discourage divorce as much as possible. It's not a good thing. Should you stay in an unhealthy marriage? No, you should not. You should make it a healthy marriage, ideally. But if you cannot make it a healthy marriage, then get as healthy of a divorce as possible. I'm not saying that divorce should be completely prohibited, and divorce should definitely not be a prison to where you're legally not able to get divorced. That's an evil. That's a nightmare. A marriage should be two people voluntarily being 100.00% all in at all times and choosing to be there. And neither one of them should be there, I'm trapped because of the money, or I'm trapped because of religion, or I'm trapped because of social embarrassment, or I'm trapped. A marriage is not a prison. A marriage is a vehicle to accelerate your growth as a human being with another person and to accelerate their growth too. It's 1 + 1 equals at least 2, preferably more than 2. It makes you better. An unhealthy marriage is, I'm half a person, I'm half a person. Well, you multiply that times the negative. Together, we're negative 2.5 people. Like, we're not only destroying ourselves, but we're also bringing evil into the world because of it. We're ruining our kids too. Or we're ruining our business relationships. Everything about us becomes a negative that perpetuates through the rest of our lives and echoes through everything that we touch, because how you do anything is how you do everything. So, when you're picking a politician, if you pick people that have good, strong relationships, have strength in that, that's a positive. If you are picking a relationship that you've got, you pick one that's healthy, that you can grow together.
In her space, what is marriage in her space? There is no meaning in marriage in her world. Why should even anybody react to that video? You're talking about a porn star who goes around and marriage after marriage after marriage. In that world, what is the basis?
Yep.
What is the standards?
I think the worry is that she's teaching people that getting married is not that big of a deal, and if it doesn't work out, just divorce.
Of course, because it fits her story, because she's trying to justify her existence as a porn star, and she's in a terrible environment with nothing but bad relationships. It's a horrible industry to be in, and it's not good, not healthy.
Oh, so you don't like that? What do you think about that?
I think, in a sense, my parents are divorced. I think if the marriage is not working, I think it takes two people to equally want that marriage to succeed. And
that is true. There's a thing called marriage viability assessment that I created, and here's what it is. 3 questions. Question 3 has 2 parts, and you ask it of both people, so it's 8 questions. Only a lawyer can take 3 things and turn it into 8. Do you both want the marriage to work? If either one of you don't want the marriage to work, it cannot work. It will not work. Second, if you both want it to work, then are you both willing to do whatever it takes in order to make the marriage work, even if you don't know what that is? But if you're both willing to do whatever it is, your marriage will be viable. Now you go into step 3, which is, are you able to make your marriage work? And ability has 2 parts. Knowledge, do you know what it will take? And capability, are you capable of doing what you know it will take? If you don't know what it will take, then that's where marriage counseling comes in. You go to a marriage counselor, they listen to you, they work on communication, they give you some suggestions on how to do it, and then you go back out and see, are we able to do this? You try it, then you go back for more advice, figure out what it is that you need to do. If you figured out what it is that you need to do and you're not capable of it, you don't have a viable marriage. If you don't know what it takes to have a viable marriage, you have a potentially viable marriage. You go out and you figure it out, but will work because you both want it to work and you're both willing to do whatever it takes, even if you don't know what it takes. That's a marriage viability assessment in a nutshell. If either one of you don't want it to work, it will not work. If either one of you is not willing to do whatever it takes to make it work, it will not work. Now, it doesn't mean you don't have boundaries. Like, for example, alcoholic divorce is the typical cliche. It is always this. We both want it to work. We're both willing to do whatever it takes. Do we know what it will take? Yes. It will take either them quitting drinking or me tolerating living with an alcoholic. They can't quit drinking. I can't live with the alcoholic anymore. Therefore, we are not able to make our marriage work. Therefore, we don't have a viable marriage. Therefore, we need to get as healthy of a divorce as possible. That assessment is the proper way to determine whether or not someone should get a divorce or not. That answers question number one, because a divorce is 3 steps. Should I get a divorce? Yes or no? If the answer is yes, then what do I need to do in order to get through the divorce process in the healthiest way? If the answer is no, I shouldn't get a divorce, then what do I need to do to have the healthiest marriage possible? If the answer is yes, I do need to get a divorce, then step 2 is, what tactics should I use? Should I do it with a lawyer or try and do it myself? By the way, don't ever try and do it yourself. Second, if I'm going to get a lawyer, what type of lawyer should I get? Should I get one that's going to help me get through the process in the healthiest way possible? Or should I get a jerk, an a-hole, who's only, it's a hammer, everything is a nail, and all they know is pound, pound, pound. We're definitely going to go to court. We're going to blah, blah, blah. We're going to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars, and in the end, you're not going to get anything better. You're probably going to get something worse than if you would have hired the guy that just tried to help you get through the process in the healthiest way. And then step 3, do it. That's it. 3-step process. Should I get a divorce? What strategy should I use? Do it. Or if it's not get a divorce, work and get as healthy of a marriage as you possibly can.
I feel like if one person doesn't, or if one person has checked out, one person gets addicted to drugs, and there's nothing that could be done, I think there are circumstances, or cheating. I think
so. He's right about all those things, but the marriage viability assessment determines that. Her advice is just saying, if your marriage is not good, just end it, and that's okay. It's extremely simplistic, not particularly wise, reductive type of way to describe it. So I get what she's saying, but too many people would say, oh, it's fine if I get a divorce. It's not fine if you get a divorce. Don't get married thinking, I can always get out of this. Because if you do that, you're not 100% all in. And if you're not 100% all in, you're not going to have a healthy marriage. And therefore, you're going to lead yourself to a divorce. So the commitment that you get in when you're getting married, that has to be a real thing. You really have to be 100.00% all in and committed to figuring out what you need to do in order to help each other grow together. And a lot of that is communication. Everybody's growing, and you're either going to grow apart or you're going to, hey, let's communicate. Oh, communicate. Communication brings you together, and you stay on a common path forward. If you go into marriage thinking, I can just get out, and if it's not healthy, like I'll just get out or whatever, that's not the right mindset. The mindset is, we're going to figure out what it takes in order for us to have a healthy marriage, and we expect that there's going to be times where it's frustrating or we don't understand it or any number of problems. We're going to have conflict. You can either allow the conflict to be a healthy conflict, or you can allow it to be a destructive conflict. If you're thinking, oh, I'll just get out if it's a problem, then as soon as there's the first any type of conflict, you're going to think, I'm out of here, and you're going to be out because you're not 100% all in, because you're always thinking, I got an escape hatch. It should be very simple. Be 100% all in until, if the other side, if you're convinced they're not 100% all in, then don't be 100% all in, then be half in, because it's either 100% in or 100% out. Don't do this in the middle thing. I did that in my marriage for the first about a year, and then we fixed that. And we've been 100% all in since then. We've been married almost 16 years, so that's 14 happy years. It's because we weren't all in at the very beginning, and we didn't understand and know what that meant. The first year of marriage, very difficult. Stick with it.
I think there are certain circumstances where divorce, I think, is the right choice for people to separate.
So do you think she is potentially influencing others to leave their husbands? Do you think she's potentially doing that?
Yes.
I do.
You do? Do you think she's also influencing some other girls to maybe not be doing the stuff that they're doing, and now they're leaving their husbands and be reckless. Who cares if marriage doesn't work out? Go have your fun, live your life. It's about you. Do you think she's influencing some young girls to ruin their lives?
Yes.
Possibly.
Possibly? Graham, you're a smart guy.
Yeah, it's
it ain't
different.
possibly.
Yeah.
She is.
Sure.
He's a diplomat.
Okay.
And
is a
that's the
diplomat,
problem.
But he's kind of getting in his own way instead of just being straight up with it. You know you're right. It goes back to my point, okay, where the wrong people are becoming heroes.
That's right. She's the wrong person to be a hero for that. Be careful. Pick your heroes wisely.
They're influencing and converting and baptizing younger generation to live dumb lives.
Yeah, exactly. It would be very dumb to do that. That's why you subscribe and share and propagate this podcast, because we're fighting against that. We're here to change that, just like Patrick is. That's why I can't wait to talk to him about marriage, because it's brilliant.
That's the problem. We are turning the wrong people into heroes.
Correct.
So if that person has that kind of influence, do you want even more of that influence in schools, in high schools, in junior high schools? No. You're validating my point from earlier on why the content we're teaching in our schools is ruining our younger generation by confusing the hell out of them.
Exactly. Absolutely. It's exactly what is happening.
And that girl right there is a hero today to many people because she's getting the eyeballs. She's now, what would happen if she all of a sudden came out and she says, I've lived a terrible life. I've made a lot of dumb decisions. I've been selfish my entire life. I've changed my life. I'm now going to church. I've found God. You want to live a different kind of a life. I'm no longer drinking. I'm no longer smoking. I'm no longer doing drugs. I want to figure out a way to be a mother one day because I want to invest into something that's got high rate of return. And I want my daughters to be proud of me. I'm not proud of my past, but I want to change, and I want to set the example for my kids to know that even a person like me one day can choose to change, so can others.
Yep.
There is an element of hero-making machine in that story. We need more of those stories.
Yep. Absolutely. So like and subscribe. Share this podcast, because this is important content. This is the content that we need to be teaching to our kids and the new generation. This is the stuff that we used to be kids like that, and now we've grown up and figured it out. And you're either going to go down the rabbit hole of destruction, or you're going to climb the mountain of success. This podcast is about you climbing the mountain of success. So like, subscribe, share, give us some comments, and help us out, because we need you in order to grow. The more we grow, the more we have these high-level conversations like this with people like Patrick Bet-David and a whole lot of others. So thank you so much. We'll see you in the next episode. This is The Lawyer Dana Show.